Yep, for the first time since April 24th, the Knicks are waking up after a loss this morning. Good luck, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to First Take. Stephen A. Cameron in studio this morning. Kendrick Perkins and Shea Cornett here with you. Cameron, the fit?
I'm Country Cam.
I see.
Yeah, I'm cousins of Southern Steve. Yeah, and I came to let you New York City slickers know that we got a series on our hands right now.
We do.
Yes, we do.
We do. I wish I had a cowboy hat. I would join you in this City Slickers
man.
conversation.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Good morning.
Good morning, Stephen A.
It's not the same kind of pep.
You know, see,
got in the step.
and that's the problem that I have with the New Yorkers and this Knick fan base. Seriously, like everybody walking around this morning, the energy level is low. It's like we're at a funeral. But I had to remind myself that it's an organization and it's a fan base that's not accustomed to being here. You know what I mean? Because when you're accustomed to being in the NBA Finals and you're actually up 2-1 in a series, you don't just have these emotional lows like at this point. Like
I'm a little disappointed in him, though.
Yeah.
He's from Houston, or he lives in Houston, Texas, and you're part of the problem with these New York City slickers. You put this battery in their back and think they're going to guarantee win a championship, Big Perk. You're part of the problem.
it's 2-1.
Yeah.
You know, just because you got them damn goggle Spiano glasses on don't make you more astute than normal, okay? The fact of the matter is that you sitting up there talking, you don't take into consideration the suffering. And we'll get into that damn president of ours later because he has a lot to do with what happened last night.
All right.
And I ain't gonna let that go either. There's a lot to get into. The glasses look nice, but it don't make you smarter, even though you're naturally smart.
Okay, he's going to bank that for a little bit later on. Let's go to last night and what happened at the Garden. The Spurs totally spoiled the MSG party last night, snapping the Knicks' 13 playoff game win streak. Victor Wembanyama notched his first finals win behind 32 points, 8 boards, 6 dimes, and 3 blocks. Wemby dropped 9 points in the first 5 minutes alone, which really set the tone. Jalen Brunson scored 32. OG Anunoby at 28 for the Knicks. Was not enough. Spurs win it.
Said that game 2 was going to fuel you. How did it fuel you tonight?
I mean, in the way we see it, it's the little things. We were more serious, you know, with less mistakes, less turnovers. It's a whole.
To come into this building and to steal this game 3, just what does it do for you guys and your confidence going into game 4?
Nothing really. We're all the time confident. Did what we were supposed to do, but our job is absolutely not done. We're not even halfway. The hardest is still to come.
So Wemby and the Spurs cut the series lead to only 1 game for the Knicks. Are you giving more credit to the Spurs, or are you putting more criticism now on the Knicks? Stephen A.
I'm putting it on the Knicks. I'm not taking any credit away from the San Antonio Spurs to be the young team that they are, to walk into Madison Square Garden and to do what they did. But I do think there's a lot about the New York Knicks that was out of character compared to what we had seen from them over the previous couple of months or so, especially en route to this 13-game winning streak. Jalen Brunson, I got to put this loss on him just as much as anybody. Mike Brown to a smaller degree, but definitely Jalen Brunson. You launched double the amount of shots of Karl Anthony Towns. You shot more than Karl Anthony Towns and Josh Hart combined. You look at Josh Hart, he was flowing earlier in the game. You know what? In the second half, you didn't find him. Karl Anthony Towns, you didn't find him pretty much all game long. They went small, for crying out loud. You had an opportunity to exploit that and take advantage by getting the ball to Karl Anthony Towns. You didn't do that. And listen, Jalen Brunson is a superstar in this game. He's one of the clutch players. He's Mr. Clutch. He's a closer. We know how lucky we are to have him, how great he is. It's just 1 game. But last night, I said something about him last night that I never thought I'd say. I thought he was winning. I thought it looked, I don't know this, it looked like he was playing to win Finals MVP than he was playing to win Game 3. That's how it looked. And so I look at it from that standpoint and I say to myself, what the hell is going on? You can't come out there looking as sloppy as they looked. They looked nervous. It looked like the Madison Square Garden environment got to them more than it got to the San Antonio Spurs. I didn't expect to see that happening. But nevertheless, it did. And not only that, they reverted back to how they were playing before they went on this 13-game winning streak. So we can't ignore that either. They made 40 shots 18 assists. That's not the New York Knicks. That shows there's not a lot of fluidity. There's not a lot of movement of the basketball. There's not the proper spacing. There's not a lot of things. So I let Big Perk and Cameron get into all of that. But I know what I saw, and it wasn't impressive. And that New York Knicks team ain't winning the championship. The New York Knicks team that's going to win the championship is the New York Knicks team that we've been watching over the previous 13 games. The ones that showed up last night looked nothing like the team that had gone on that 13-game playoff winning streak.
I think both teams may be a little shook. Well, the Spurs didn't really look like it in terms of offensively, but shook coming out of the gates fine. But to see the Knicks come out after halftime being shook, I think that was probably the more surprising part of it. Are you giving credit to the Spurs? Are you criticizing the Knicks this morning, Kendrick Perkins?
First of all, what environment?
What?
What environment? Sure. That environment, listen, outside the arena, it was fired up. You're leading into the game around the city. But I didn't see way more hostile environments than what I witnessed last night. Mm-hmm. When you talk about me participating in the NBA Finals, when you talk about playing for the Boston Celtics at times where the crowd gets so fired up, I get goosebumps. That energy in that arena was over. The thing I was expecting, I came out of a reaction, it was overrated in there last night. It wasn't loud. It wasn't. If I was an opposing team, I wasn't feeling like I was, in an environment where it was like it was doing something to me. So that's number one. Number two, you got to give all the credit to the San Antonio Spurs. All the credit to the San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs did what they were supposed to do, and they made adjustments on both ends of the floor. Offensively, Stephon Castle set the tone. Their favorite offensive set is a horn set. That is a Stephon Castle with the ball in his hands, Wemby at one elbow, and another guard or wing player at the other elbow, and they set this high double screen action where they try to get Wemby with a lob at the basket. They was taking that lob away. Stephon Castle made an adjustment, and he was attacking the paint and finishing at the basket. And when he drove off the horns, instead of probing, he actually got downhill, and the couple finishes that he did have, it opened up, and so all of a sudden we started seeing lobs to Wemby for dunks. Defensively, they couldn't get Karl-Anthony Towns the ball. The adjustments was made, right? We're going to put a smaller guy on you, Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson, your job is to get physical. The one thing in the world that a big man hates is for a smaller defender to get into their lower body and take their legs away. And then what they did was they had Wemby as the roam guy. He was guarding Josh Hart. That's why Josh Hart was having so many wide open threes, because he was standing in the paint. He was giving him the Draymond Green, Kendrick Perkins treatment. I'm going to sag Ben Wallace. I'm going to sag all the way off. We're not going to even contest your shots. So, again, with Karl-Anthony Towns, it wasn't there to actually get him the rock. But I will say this, he still played an outstanding game defensively. But when he came out, he established his presence early on both ends of the floor. I got to give all the credit in the world to Mitch Johnson and the San Antonio Spurs.
I agree with Perk. I'm giving the credit to the San Antonio Spurs. Wemby came out and set the tone. We've seen a sluggish Wemby when he comes out. We're like, does Wemby even want to play? I think the 2 days off that they had actually helped them. Also, what you just said, Stephon Castle, he comes out and he's aggressive. Last night, we seen the San Antonio Spurs look like that was a game 3 of the sweep. It looked like they back against the wall, because it really is. Nobody comes down from an 0-3 deficit. Stephen A. talked about all the things that happened with Jalen Brunson didn't do, or what Karl-Anthony Towns didn't do. That's because of the Spurs' defense as well. They're locked in defensively. When you look at Wemby get that block against Sherman, that rotation is crazy. If you look at how they closed out, they was rotating. They was, boom, yo, get this person. And then Sherman thinks he has a drive. Wemby recovers. So they're locked in defensively. When the Knicks made their run, halftime was definitely their friend, because the Knicks went up 7 after San Antonio being up 12. They took that time out. They came back in the second half and did what they're supposed to do, also closed out. I was really hard on De'Aaron Fox coming into this game 3. Hit a real big shot. So I'm giving the credit to the Spurs. And the stuff that you said, Stephen A., I believe is because of the Spurs defense playing so well against Brunson.
Well, listen, I think, and that's where I disagree, because it wasn't like the Spurs defense was awful in games 1 and 2. but the New York Knicks wouldn't allow the Spurs to dictate things the way that they allowed them to dictate last night. And even though you saw the New York Knicks win those 2 games, although it were nail-biters, one of the things we lamented is the fact that the New York Knicks didn't seem to be what they were against Cleveland, what they were against Philly, and what they were the last 3 games against Atlanta in terms of, deferring the cat. You saw Jalen Brunson in games 1 and 2, dribbling a bit more than he did against Cleveland, doing a bit more than he did against Philly in those last 3 games against Atlanta. We just said the hell with it because you know what? Cat was doing his thing against Wemby in attack mode, and we were salivating over that reality. You saw Mikal Bridges play lights out in game 2. We were pleased at that. No show offensively last night, even though he had the highest plus-minus on the team. I don't give a damn about that. He scored 2 points. He didn't do anything last night offensively. I don't want to hear about plus-minuses.
Or defensively.
You understand? He didn't do anything offensively, okay? Josh Hart was hitting, he struggled. He wasn't even averaging 2 points a game in the first 2 games, but he was hitting shots early. You're Jalen Brunson, and you see OG Anunoby in the process of dropping 28 points on 13 shots. You got to know to get him the ball more. You got to know to feed Josh Hart more. You got to know that Karl Anthony Towns, your boy that's been playing like the big boy in this series, you got to make sure you feed that beast, as you always say. So for Jalen Brunson not to do that and to take double the amount of shots of 2 starters, to still be struggling the way that he has, even though he wasn't struggling that much last night. Well, I'm talking about shooting from the field goal percentage-wise. You still got to look at him and say, yo, bro, you got to take advantage of those things. You can't fend off 6 and 7 different dudes bigger than you, but so long. Champagnie, Fox, Dylan Harper, the list goes on. You can't fend off all of these dudes by yourself and thinking they're going to wear you down.
But let's say, I think Jalen Brunson is allowed to get a pass.
Sure.
Last night.
We can talk about one game.
No. But what I'm saying is he's allowed to have one of those moments as a franchise guy to say, you know what, it's game 3. I'm coming out. Damn it, if we going down, it's going to be because of me. But I'm about to go out. I'm about to come out swing.
I'm not saying he's not entitled. But you have to acknowledge, even though he's entitled to do it, if it didn't work, he's a big reason why it didn't work last night.
I'm with you, and I want to highlight something to you to prove your point. Not the point that I believe that he was playing to get Finals MVP or make a statement towards that, but I'm talking about the non-Brunson minutes in the second quarter. Remember, they went for 42 points, the Knicks did in the second quarter. Those non-Brunson minutes, go look at them to start the second. The Knicks that's when they started to make their run. That's when we started to see the movement, guys get involved, right? And they started to cut into the league. Jalen Brunson came in with about 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, right before the half, and then he had to buy in. So your point is that, hey, man, get guys involved. Because Mikal Bridges get a couple shots early, he's going to defend at a high level. Right? Shamit comes in, he get an easy basket off of assist, then that's going to give him energy to defend more. You can't ask guys who has been coming out there in games 1 and game 2, who's been delivering in great fashion, offensively, all of a sudden they not touching the rock to go down and do something.
Absolutely, and then not only that, one of the things that